Blessings and welcome. I am Tuesday May Thomas. I pray and affirm that everything I share here at my YouTube channel truly serves your path of spiritual growth and spiritual sovereignty. Join me at my website, tuesdaymaythomas.com, and subscribe there to receive my monthly love letter and also to receive a free copy of my book, The Higher Self Blueprint of Mastery. I'm so grateful for all of the new subscribers. Thank you so much for coming by and for supporting my channel. So let's go ahead and get started. As you know, I use the Osho Zen Tarot as our main sort of source, our main oracle to read from at our weekly tarot energy forecast. But from time to time, I've been guided to pull one Voyager card from James Wanless. This is the little book that goes with the Voyager Tarot, to pull a card from his deck as an overview card of sorts. So let's go ahead and take a moment and nice and easily close our eyes and tap into the breath. OMG, we just had a whole bunch of these cards fall out, so I'm not going to look. Okay, so 2 fell out. So which one do we go for? Just as I'm calling in our angels and guides, let's go ahead and do that now before we decide. We'll take a moment to call in our angels, our guides, and we appreciate your love, your light, your divine guidance. With this reading and in all the ways that you show up in our lives, that you help hold space for the Most High love, the Most High light, we appreciate your presence, your divine support, and your offering of light, your offering of guidance along this path. I am getting left, which is, this is my left, to pull for this card. Oh my gosh, it's the Star card! Ah! I love this card, the Star. The Star. Look at her. Look at you. Look at you. The star that you are. Wow, that's Kuan Yin up in the house. Wow, okay, so this is going to be our overview card, and as you know, if you read with me, that when I do the Voyager deck, I read from the little book. It's not a deck that I use when I read tarot cards for individuals, so I still use the book to gain insight. This is so exciting. I'll tell you why it's exciting, because last week, see, it's all marked with my little markers. Last week, I pulled one of these cards for myself, and I got this card. And I've been meditating with it every day. And then today, when I was guided to do this recording, this card was on the altar, and it said, okay, put it back in the mix now and mix it up with the others for when you pull for this reading. So I just love how that happens. So I'm going to make sure that I try not to wobble this too much as I read. The star symbolizes the law of luminosity. Shine like a star. You are the light. Self-esteem comes with recognizing the star that you are. Self-recognition brings attainment. You are seen as a star by others by acknowledging your own star quality. Standing in the star shower, receive inspiration from the heavens. Your head is in the stars. Follow thoughts that are lofty, imaginative, progressive, and inspiring. You are a guiding light to others, a way shower. Help others reach their star. Now, this was the thing about this card that I really loved. Help others reach their star. Isn't that just gorgeous? It's just so succulent and beautiful. The star is symbolized by Kuan Yin, who, like the Aquarius water bearer, is a servant of the universe. With compassion, pour out your life-giving waters and radiate your light into the darkness to nourish and nurture the dry, barren, and needy. The shadow or negative side of star is, like the star, you are beautiful and make this world a more beautiful place. In not seeing your beauty, your starlight is distant and cold. You are spaced out and too far removed from your light to help yourself and others. So stay in your light. Be luminous, shine bright, be in your power, in your full authority and presence of your divinity, and allow that to lead your path. This is so beautiful. The star. I'm going to have a sip of tea. A little Earl Grey on this hot desert afternoon. So thank you again, everyone, so much for subscribing, for viewing. If it's your first time, welcome. I do this reading every week and it brings me so much joy. If you are interested in receiving a personal, a private reading, go ahead and drop me a line. My email and all my information is down in the Show More box, and I'd be happy to offer you ways that we can do this. I'm also offering a special $30 for 30 minutes. Email me and I will let you know how to get involved with that. So let's go ahead and get started. Osho Zen Tarot. We're going to close our eyes one more time and take a deep breath. And we thank you, our angels. We thank you, our guides, all of those divine blessed messengers, our animal totems, our higher selves. We thank you for opening the way, for creating a sacred space that we can come together as a community and be open to your offerings of the most high love and light. We thank you so much for opening the way, for holding space. Whoa, look at what happened here. This is very interesting. So I feel like we're supposed to do something with this. What do you think? So I feel like we're supposed to use this bottom card that is ripening. And then let's see, I'm just going to drop these ones that were the wrap around the wrist ones. And we're going to use ripening or ripeness. Okay? So we're going to use this one. And we're going to take a look at these other ones, which was so interesting. You know, and a lot of these are repeaters. Ooh, but the Lovers is in the mix. The Lovers is in the mix this week. Okay, so the star, right, is our overview card. And we're going to be coming back to it. So we have Ripeness. We are so ready. You are so ready. And I know if you've been watching these tarot readings from the last couple weeks, it has been all about expanding on our theme and really getting clear about our vision of self and being able to speak that vision, being able to hold that vision, being able to succinctly bridge that vision down to earth and speak on it and share on it from a place of absolute authenticity. Authenticity. Oh my God, I love it. We just created a word, authenticity and integrity. Authenticity. I love it. Authenticity and integrity, right? So we're learning to do that, and it's interesting because we have a few repeats from the few weeks before. So we do have rebirth, which of course, rebirth has to happen. As we ripen and as we fall from the tree, there is a change, an alchemical shift, mind, body, and spirit. We do have control, a card of the mind, signaling a time to let go. And what was our first card, or a big main theme card of our reading last week, was letting go as well. Possibilities came up last week, where we transformed. We moved from being that coy little peace dove in the cage to branching out, going outside of that cage, jumping off that high wire and out into the divine juicy universe. And from that way, turned from that coy little beautiful peace dove that was used to its parameters of the cage into this soaring eagle, activating our eagle eye, our ability to perceive all the possibilities that surround us. Now we also have this isolation card, and it's interesting because it's next to control, and then we have this interesting bundle that is the Lovers, projections, and you can almost see what's going on there, right? And then breakthrough. So we're going to leave, that's like its own little chunk. We're going to get into that towards the end. And I don't know if I said it, but aloneness, and this card came up last week. So what I'm getting is that this is all about that transformation that we're in. This is all about us moving from the version of who we were. Remember who you were at the beginning of 2018? Those affirmations, those intentions, those New Year resolutions that you created, and where you were at in your life just 6-7 months ago. Well, where are you now, right? If you were to overlay a version of who you are now over that version of who you were then, you know, what would it look like? How how would you have changed? How would your health have changed? Your body has changed, your mind, your emotional set points. You know, who are you now? And how is it going for you? how are those resolutions going for you? Have you been able to meet them? Have you been able to straddle them? And what if they brought you, if so? And this has been all about us redefining and recalibrating that truth that we are. And this is all we ever do on our spiritual realm, right? As we go through the spirals and we come closer and closer and greater aligned to truth, to the truth within us, to the truth that surrounds us. And so we come back to ourselves. And every time we come back to ourselves, there is a ripening. There is a new version of the fruit that you are on the tree and that's ready to fall from the tree. And every time there's a ripening, there's a rebirth. And we go from being one version, one state of ourselves, like the dull camel, that is happy to go along and to do things in a very rudimentary certain way, which is fine. I love rudimentary. I'm a Taurus, and I love my schedule. I love when I know what time I'm here, what time I'm there, how much time I have in between to do me and this and that. And I'm very good. I can work very well like that. And then you throw, a time change in the spanner and I'm like, oh my God, I have like drama. But that's how life is, right? When we start healing, when we start waking up and our spiritual, being becomes activated, it's like, sleepy time is over. That camel, that dull, just going along with the status quo, doing things the way everyone else does things, that starts to shatter. And we start to realize that perhaps we're ready to do things in a different way. Perhaps we're ready to experience life in a new way, in a way that fiercely affords our authenticity. What did we say at the beginning? Our authenticity, right? Our authenticity and integrity aligned like the lion. We start to find our voice of truth. And then we start to come back into that power, into that sense of center. And if you've ever lost your center and come back to it, you know what I'm saying. It's like that dark night of the soul thing where you get out of sorts, you go out of your normal terrain only to come back again and to be reunited with your truth, to be reunited with your higher self, to be reunited with your path, your purpose. And then as that reunion comes to place, you as the fruit on the tree begin to ripen and begin to fall from the tree so that your gifts can go from being this aspiration, this idea high in the sky like a big pizza pie, and it starts to fall to the earth. So what is a vision in one moment comes to earth. The 3D, the reality of it begins to come to fruition. You are ripe, you are ready. And we move from being that dull, like just going along with life, to like breaking through and having this like, wow, I'm coming back to remembering that I am love, I am light, I can do anything I want, I can create my reality, love is the truth, light is wonderful, and all this stuff. And you come back into finding your voice of that power, of that truth, of that light. And then you come into like chilling as that child playing the flute, because you're like, now that you know your truth, you've recentered, you're connected with love, with light, now you can relax again and relax back into the part of you that is ever present and in tune with love and with light. And you don't have to work so hard. Yet at the same time, for some of us, there is some work here. So both of these cards are cards of the mind, and they represent, on one hand, we have this isolation. And this is about your feelings being frozen. This is about being stuck in time. This is about like having a lot of feelings but not being able to feel them, not being able to express and emote them. And what is governing it is control. Control is holding on so darn tight that it's very constricted, and there's hardly any room here to breathe. There's hardly any room here to see the possibilities that abound for you in your life, because you're holding on so tight and because you're not letting go. So what I'm getting about isolation is this is like, there's this interesting thing where we can think that we can decide our fates. And I guess to a certain degree, I mean, we are co-creators, conscious, questionable, but we are creators of our life's experience, and really conscious co-creators as we do it and participate on purpose with awareness. And the isolation card is almost like us saying, like, I'm going to hold on so tight to these feelings, to these emotions, to this fear, to this part of my past. I'm going to try to control the future by holding on to the past, that even though the fruit of me is ready, my soul, my higher self is telling me I'm ready, I'm just going to hold on. I'm going to do my best to stay affixed to this branch, even though all of the divine wisdom within me and all of the signs that I'm getting from the universe is telling me that I am ready to be free. I am ready, like the fruit that is ripe, like the star that you are, ready to shine luminous and bright. There, for some of us, is a fear, a very deep fear. Now, why is there a fear? Excuse me. On one hand, we have the aloneness card, which is a major arcana. The other major arcana in this reading, is the lovers and the breakthrough. So we're going to get to these two cards here. En route, though, with aloneness, because we know, right? Or maybe we don't know, and maybe this is news for you. And I remember the first time I really considered this, it was really powerful, because there's this romantic thing of like meeting your sacred other, and that they will make you whole. You know, that you and this other person together will create the one. You know, this person is the one, and together you are one. And yes, I get it, and it's juicy, and it's romantic, and it's all what all these movies are made of. Yet, on the spiritual dimension, on the dimension of mastery, spiritual enlightenment, we know that only we can live our path for us. Only you can make you happy. Only you can fulfill you. It's not going to come from anything outside. Now, granted, sure, you can have a great time. You can win the lotto. You can have a really good meal. These are all things that on the outside, like, feel really good, or make you, for that moment or for that little phase of a timeline, feel fulfilled and feel content. And yes, these things are real. They're 3D. They're a part of our operating in this world. It's a part of the sensual world, which I absolutely love, of course, as a Taurus. As a tourist? Yes, and a Taurus. But aloneness is saying you are the tourist of your own ride. So no matter how many lovers you have, no matter how many years you've been married, this is about you. This you turning into the star that you are, shining unabashedly, your luminosity, and also shining so bright and holding such a divine sacred space that you're holding space for others to know how to shine their light too. I mean, I think that's just so good. You're ripe and you're ready to the degree that you've allowed yourself to be present with your truth along your path of aloneness, along your path of being authentically integral, what did we call it? Authentic integral. Now I can't remember. We'll come back to it though. It's in doing that. It's being honest and loyal to yourself, to the truth of you, that you come back to being able to being honest and loyal with the rest of your world, with the rest of your life. So if this resonates with you, like, what are you holding on to? Because the time has come, and we've had this conversation to varying degrees over the last couple months. There's a job, there's a relationship. And I know in last week's reading rather. So just so you know, I am on Instagram. All of my links to my books and my website, my Instagram, down below in the description box, in the show more box. Join me on Instagram if you are there, because besides just the random posts that I love to do, I post a couple, like at least 3 little 1-minute vignettes from this reading every week. So you get the highlights, you get a reminder of what's going on. And sometimes it's not always clear in the very beginning when we do these readings. I mean, sometimes it's not even clear to me and I'm just going along with it, and then at a certain point I'll be like, oh, this is what this whole reading is about. So sometimes it's like that for you, I'm sure too. Maybe you don't know what it is, right? But for several weeks gone past, there has been a theme of relationships ending, of jobs ending, of something that is ready to come to its completion so that you can be reborn, so that your rebirth can happen, so that you can ripen in the most divine high ways that serves your highest good, so that that can be made way for. And it is the release. So for some of us, we're holding on. You're still holding on and trying to control your fates. There's a holding on and a controlling, as if you can say when you are going to fall from the tree. And believe me, I know this is so complex. If you watch 4DT, my weekly live stream, or we have these conversations together, you know there's really such complex labyrinths to this. Because on one hand, yes, it is everything that you decide, that you know, that you perceive, that you, beyond perceiving, know that is your truth. So on one hand, yes, you can stay. You can stay a fruit on that tree. Have you ever seen a fruit on a tree go bad? Have you ever seen a nectarine, a lemon, a lime, an apricot, whatever it is on a tree, funked? Usually you see those on the ground where they've fallen, the fruit hasn't been picked up, it hasn't been eaten, and so it's gone awry. Yet, have you ever seen a fruit gone bad on a tree? And I'm asking you that because I'm getting a download and I'm having memory here now where I have had that. There have been a few, I mean, and believe me, there's only one or two here, but I have, it's a very specific memory of an apricot on an apricot tree, and it was growing mold on the tree. It was as if it was still holding on to the branch, even though it was ripe and ready to fall, to be transformed into a new version. You know, this plum, when the plum is on the tree, it has a very different reality than when it has fallen from the tree. And it's the same thing that we had last week with the understanding card, where the bird, that coy little pea stub, is on the precipice of flying out of the cage and having that transformation of going through the vortex and finding out who it is outside of the parameters of the cage. And they could either do that and be transformed alchemically into this all-seeing eagle, or they could stay in the cage. And it's that same thing. Is your fruit trying to stay on the tree? Are you ready to go to the next level, but are you just afraid? Are there emotions that you're not that you're not feeling, that you've been afraid to feel? Are there things that you're trying to control so that you don't have to feel? Or so that you're trying to control them so that you feel them in a certain way? Well, rebirth is upon you, and no matter what you do, this change is happening. So whether you stay on the branch, so again, I'm getting like jobs, I'm getting relationships, and where things have turned their phases to the degree where you know it's bye-bye time, you've served your time, you've gotten what you've needed, the relationship has seen itself to the end. Have you ever been in those kinds of relationships? I know I've had a few where you know it's done, but you love the person, and maybe it's like good vibes and they love you, but like romantically, energetically it's done, but you guys decide to stick around just to see, or because like it's kind of benign and we like to hang out and watch videos and make love sometimes, but you know there's no relationship still there. And you know even more than that, because you can have fun and make love and watch videos as long as you want, till the cows come home. Yet, what this is saying is there's a point, though, where you're ripe and you're ready for change. The fruit has fallen. You know there has been a shift in your heart or a shift in your awareness, but you're still hanging out watching videos. And so you have not been the bird that's flown from the cage, and so you do not have the perception, the perception and perspective, that's another one of my words, perspection, thank you very much, of possibilities. And so if you don't know all the possibilities that align, then how can you jump on them? How can you manifest from that place? So we're going to move forward because we do have the Lover's card. And you know, it has been a woven thread through these readings where that has been a part of it. You know, you can be in relationships where your partner is either going to see the star in you, and this could be a roommate, this could be family members, because you know, family is family. We love our family. Yet sometimes there could be a family member who just doesn't get you. And no matter how good you are, or how many promotions you get, or how many certifications you do, or whatever it is, they just don't see the star in you. They don't have the capacity. They don't know how to hold space for you in the light. And so to them, you may feel like they're never going to see you as a star. It's up to you to know that you are a light unto yourself, that you are that star. Are your relationships, does your partner see the star in you? Are you allowing them to see the star in you? Does your family see the star in you? Are you showing up as the star? Remember, expanding on your theme. The more that you know, we train each other. We train our neighbors. We train our parents, our family, our friends, our relatives, our relations, our students, our clients, and it sounds really weird, but for example, like you set the boundaries. You create the healthy boundaries of like, I will not be spoken to like that, you know, and so you're training yourself, but others. And I mean that in total respect and love and light with regard to how we teach our loved ones to love us. How, in a relationship, you are constantly creating boundaries, healthy or otherwise, for your partner to either totally take advantage of you or to learn how to respect you, your time, your attention, your emotions, your body, your whatever it is. Because even though you may be in a sexual union, you can still have healthy boundaries about sex and sexuality. And so now we're going into like a whole other realm. And this is very interesting. So this does speak to me this week. So lovers is on the rise. And I feel like there's separate messages. So first of all, if you are in a committed relationship in a long term, you're married, you're living with someone, or you've just been in a romantic, intimate relationship for some time, this card is saying to pay attention to the conversations you are having with your loved one. There is something up, and you know what it has to do? It has to do with you or them, or both of you, coming into the greater version of that which you are, coming into a greater light that you are. And you know, when one half of us in a relationship, I say us, when one half grows and heals, the other half doesn't have to. Yet there is an acclamation, right? I know from my relationships when I was going and with Reiki, receiving my level 1 Reiki and healing my life, receiving level 2 Reiki, absolutely. There were full-on consequences with my intimate relationship at the time and other relationships as I bumped up and learned my more healing and went to 3rd level and master level and whatever all that is. There was a total conversation that was not happening, but that was happening in the invisible realm between me and this partner. And it was kind of like, I remember my energy got to the point where I was like, I'm going to keep going here. And if you don't join me and at least acknowledge the light that I acknowledge, at least if you cannot have respect for that light, it's okay if you don't see it, if you don't get it yet, but if you cannot at least respect that and honor that, well, then we have to think about how we're communicating, how I'm communicating to you, and if this relationship is really where I want to stay. So there's these very intimate things that are all projection based and that have emotional triggers. So it might be important for me that you see the light in me, but it has nothing to do with me becoming whatever, you know, enlightened on my spiritual path, but it's really rooted in my father never, and this is, I'm just making this up, my father never paid attention to me, and now you're the man in my life. And so even more than you acknowledging me in my spiritual path and acknowledging the light, I need you to acknowledge me, the little girl in me, because that's where my healing, that's where I'm at right now. And so I might be projecting onto you that it's all about the light. And why can't you just see the light? Why can't you be more enlightened? You know, there could be like these interesting conversations with loved ones, with intimate relationships. But really that's just a projection, because really the little girl inside of me is saying, I want to be seen, I want to be acknowledged, I'm seeking healing. And if you could only see the light in this version of me now, then that little girl inside of me would know that it's okay to be more of a star, to be ripe and ready to fall from the tree and show up more in my light. So I pray that you receive this, that you get this, you know, because there is like, and even if you're the spiritual one in the relationship and your partner is not so spiritual, but obviously you're together for a reason and they're spiritual enough, you're with them. So there is some divine appointment here, right? Some divine blessed exchange that's happening. And the point here with intimate love relationships is being mindful of what you are bringing to the table when you have these conversations. This is all about spiritual growth. You are growing, but they are growing too. And often when you grow up spiritually, your partner may feel that they're in a little fuddle because you're speaking a language energetically and physically through your mouth, on your tongue, that is perhaps different than the language they are used to using. So instead of projecting that you are bigger than them, that you are wiser than them, come to them from your higher self and share with them from a pure state of truth. Speak your truth, blue, throat chakra, but also listen and hear, like listen to what they're saying. So beyond the words that they may be saying to you, because as you come into your light, as you come into your star, as your fruit falls from the tree, my fruit is falling from the tree too. Your neighbor's fruit is falling from the tree. Your roommate's fruit is falling from the tree. Your mother, your father, for all of us, the fruit is falling from the tree. It's just what our relationship is with that fruit and with that tree and how it's going to be different for all of us. But so this is a part of mastery. It's skillful mastery of being able to be present with not only your own journey of coming into greater light and shining as the star that you are, but it's being able to truly see in others the light that they are. It's being able to consciously and with honor and respect train ourselves and train others of like, this is how I wish to be treated. This is how I will communicate with you about that. I do not appreciate communicating with you about that in this way, but I'm happy to talk about it in this way. Can you meet me there? Oh, we can meet. So there is a meeting here. I feel that there's a meeting this week, and it's interesting. It's in between eclipses. Remember last week? Boom, 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 boom. Eclipses seem to like come in and out of our lives, and they bring new situations, and they cut out old ones, and where we're ready to release in life, it's gone, and where we're ready to open up for more, it's new, it's here. It's like really powerful, incredible. And we're in the space between the 20th and the 27th, so there's another eclipse, a full. Is it a solar or a lunar? I think it's a lunar. Anyway, no, don't quote me on that. Anyway, but I know it's a full eclipse on the 27th. And our next reading is happening on the 27th. Is it? Wait. No, it's the 28th. Well, it'll be on the cusp. I'll make sure to be aware of that. It's going to be exciting. And then there's another eclipse on like the 11th of August. So we're working through a lot of mojo. Astrologically, I'm not an astrologist, but you know I love astrology, and these eclipses are powerful. They tend to open up, ripen, open up possibilities for us if we should go through the gateway, if we should fly through the cage, out of the cage, if we should allow our fruit to fall, to be brought to earth, to be eaten and tasted and shared with the world, or if we try to stay on the tree. But this is coming up for all of us, and it's also the relinquishing, the universal way through these eclipses of relinquishing those habits, addictions, relationships, past groups, associations, all these different things, cutting them clean so that we have a fresh start for new cycles. And often we feel the resonance of these shifts during the eclipses very strong for the next 6 months. So this will be up. So the main thing here is communicate with clarity. Be aware as you come to the table that you're not bringing, like I was giving you that example, that I'm not bringing my little girl to the table and expecting you to fulfill and to make that little girl happy, when ultimately I get to heal that part of myself. That is my responsibility. Only I can do that as a master of myself, alone for myself. And when we free ourselves from needing our sacred other to do those, to tend to those things, and not to say that you can't have those intimate conversations and those sharing, because I know when you're really deep in love with someone, to talk on those levels, it's like, oh, it's so juicy and it's so healing. Yet to be mindful that you are aware that you are an adult now at this point, right? Especially if you're 18 or over. And that you can come to the conversation with your lover from a place of purity, without projecting, without judging, to speak your truth, but also to listen. What are they saying to you? What are they saying to you? What they are saying really matters. They are your partner. Okay, what I'm getting, we're still on this one for those in an intimate relationship, although it could bleed into otherwise. But I feel that your partner has something really important to tell you this week. And it does have to do with them shining their light. And it may not be the same as you, of like, I went to the mountain and I saw this aura around this statue and it was like this 3D, third dimensional, fourth dimensional, third eye thing. They might not have that. They might just be like, I have forgiven my father. I had a dream and I forgave my father. And it's like, whoa, blasts healing into all of the channels. There's a closeness that is seeking to happen this week. If you are in a bond, if you are in a committed bond, I feel like there's a closeness, there's a next level of closeness that's ready to happen. And it's that closeness that happens in the light of you being your light, in the light of them being their light. It's very powerful. The card that comes after it is Breakthrough, another major arcana. So if you are single, then this totally speaks to, you are in audition mode, right? For flirting. Now, so we're going on a whole other limb, a whole other branch. If you're single and there's no one really special right now, then this week between eclipses is like this dance where you've been expanding on your theme and now you're like wearing it like a top hat out in the world, and you might bump into someone that sort of strikes your fancy. Be honest, be clear, listen to them, speak your truth when they say, so what's your gig? Elevator speech, boom, right? Succinct, clear, expand on your theme, be seen by them. And let yourself see them too. And there's the potential then to have fun. There's the potential, even if you're more of a celibate kind, and I know sometimes folks on this spiritual road, there will be periods of time where you're just like, I think I'm just straight up celibate. There's no action going on, you know, between you and a significant other, so to speak. Yet, this week is saying, like, the actions are potential. The grids are up. The potentials for you to meet sacred others, where you can have a flirt, where you can maybe even go on a date, where you can maybe even meet someone that's going to be like, fun to hang out with for a while, is going to be huge for you. Because if you're single, I do feel like you might be like on that celibate thing, where it's kind of been a while, or the people you've been with intimately in the past, they've kind of been the same people in the same circumstances, and it feels like this is new, because your fruit has fallen. You are shining in a new way with new levels of luminosity than you did before, which is going to attract a different kind of energy. And even if it's just flirting, if it's just playing and playfulness, well, this is like a new frequency of being able to flirt. This is a new level of you being able to be playful, being able to know that you're ripe, that you've fallen from the tree, and to exercise your ability to speak your truth, to have a good time as the star that you are, as this new version of you that has expanded on their theme, that holds the vibration and frequency of this new level of your being, which is ultimately creating a huge breakthrough 3D for you. So there is a shift. So right as we come into this eclipse on the 27th, I feel this is massive. This is massive. And our job this week is to call in the white light, to let it channel through us, let it shine through us, through all of our actions, words, and deeds, to know that you are the light, that you are the star, The star is what you are. And to shine that light unabashedly. To let go of the branch. You know, it's so much like that bird just wanting to jump from the cage. To transform itself into that all-seeing eagle that sees the divine infinitum of possibilities for your life, which creates the rebirth, right? Which is always a path that you get to align with for yourself and that only you can do for yourself. And it requires us letting go. That was a big theme last week as well. It requires us letting go of control, letting go, let your feelings, let yourself feel what you're feeling. Cry, feel angry, get it out, let it emote so that you can transform those feelings. And when it comes to intimate relations, you are not only evolving and becoming enlightened, but your partner is too. Their healing and growth is your healing and growth. Your healing and growth is their healing and growth. Though it may not look the same, you are not supposed to be the same person. You are individuals, and it's your ability to see each other clearly, to hear each other, to also speak your truth clearly, to see, to be seen, that creates a divine catalyst of healing that allows your relationship to break through to a new level. And if you're single and it's just about being playful and owning more of your light as the star that you are and playing with that energy in an intimate, flirty, romantic kind of a notion, even if it doesn't go anywhere, but it's just that creating the template, creating the blueprint, getting comfortable in speaking your truth, in being seen. How comfortable are you, my singles, in being seen clearly as the star that you are, as the fruit that has fallen from the tree, ready to be eaten? Next time when you meet someone flirty and you're having a little flirt with them, imagine you're the fruit that has fallen from the tree. And they're taking a bite, you know. How do you want to taste? Is that weird? Who knows? Breakthrough 3D. I'm getting to pull one more card. 3D realities. Breakthrough. Third chakra. Here I am. So this is saying that we are coming out the other end. Those of us that might be scared, that might be holding on like that little fruit on the branch, like that little bird that's afraid to fly from the cage. The breakthrough card is saying, you got this, you can do it. Just summon your willpower and make it so. Okay, we had a popper. Make it so, and so live your orgasmic life. That's what adventure's all about. From breakthrough, which is really you letting you break through. You letting you break through you is what that's about, which leads way to this amazing adventure. This is the next level. This is the next plane that we're going to. Back to the light, back to the astral colors, bridging heaven on earth, living our truth, shining as the star that we are. Because we know that as we really turn on and turn up and start to show up in life as our truth, as that ripened, expanded, themed version of ourself, that's when life really becomes an adventure, right? Life is not an adventure as long as you're living like the camel in the humdrum status quo. Oh, nothing ever changes. Every day's the same. Yeah, you start awakening, you turn into the lion, and you're like, oh, but every day does not need to be the same by any means. And believe me, again, that's coming from me, the Taurus, who loves the same, the same, the same. I've learned to love spontaneity. I've learned how to embrace it. And that's where the adventure is. So we are guided and invited to live the adventure of our life. Still a few things to get through here this week, but ultimately the message is to know that you are a star. You are a star. And to let your light shine bright. Share it in the world. And this is this is you being right. This is you breaking through. This is your adventure. Meet anyone who's really living their truth and shining their light, and you'll see a person living an orgasmic life. You'll see them living an adventure. So cool. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching, for sharing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment, share with your friends, subscribe. If you like this video and you're not subscribed yet, hit the red button and subscribe. I also have a donate button down below if you'd like to donate to this channel. I'd be so very grateful. All of my books, my information is down in the Show More box, and please do think about it. Come and visit my website, TuesdayMayThomas.com. Link is below. And join my website. You just subscribe there, and you receive a free gift of my mini ebook called The Higher Self. You'll also receive a once-a-month love letter from me. Keep you in tune with my offerings, my blogs, insights, my books and information. I'm so grateful for your presence. I love this platform. I love all the subscribers. Thank you so much again. I am Tuesday May Thomas. I pray and I affirm that everything I share here on this channel, all the teachings, all the readings, everything truly serves your sovereignty, your sacred spiritual growth, your powerful ability to practice and embody self-mastery through all time and space and dimensions. And so it is. Namaste with so much love. Blessings. Blessings.